All right, welcome back to my channel. I'm thrilled you're here today. I have what I think is an amazing, hopefully an amazing video. That's my promise today. Today we are talking about secular curriculums. Secular curriculums, and I have quite a few that I have purchased, bought, read through, own to show you. So I'm going to save what I think is the most comprehensive and the most award-winning for the end, but there's no bad curriculum. It's whatever you like. There's literature curriculums on here. So why don't we start with that? Why don't we start with the literature curriculum? So Torchlight is a literature curriculum. It has the best book list I've ever seen. However, the problem with the best book list I've ever seen is that the books that they have chosen are always on back order. You cannot get any of them at the library for the most part. I think I found like one at the library over like a few years. Like they have Stone Soup, which you can get at the library, and that's about it. They have one other one that I've seen, and that's over a few years. Like they just don't have books that are available at the library, aside from a couple spines. A spine is a book that they want you to use throughout the whole year. But their book selections are amazing, but that's the problem. So if you really want to invest and you really want to buy new books, then yeah, I recommend Torchlight. I mean, the books I have purchased, fantastic. So their book list is my favorite. However, I dislike it the most because again, I can't find it. Their curriculum though is awesome, but it's definitely secular. It talks about God and goddesses, witches and wizards. And what's amazing is that you create a civilization. My son really liked that part. Mostly a lot of girls tend to do this curriculum, but I mean, my sons did it and it's fine. It's very enjoyable. Like the projects they have. Now it's a literature program, which means you're going to pay about $40 for it. So it's not expensive, but you have to get your own math. You have to get your own science for it. You have to get your own, the history that they sub out, which I don't think you need. Which I do own, is Curiosity Chronicles. It's a full-on history curriculum. But based on their history selections, I think for the first younger years, I don't think you need it. But again, you can purchase that. So the reading, the math, so all those programs need to be purchased separately. But don't be fooled. When a curriculum's all-in-one, I'm going to show you an all-in-one that's an actual all-in-one. All-in-ones are very rare. Usually they sub out math, and that's whether they're Christian or secular. But at the end of the video, I'm going to show you an all-in-one that really is an all-in-one. Also have where you're building a civilization. I think I started to say that, but then got sidetracked. You're building a civilization, and it's like, okay, what God are you going to pray to? Where are you going to build your civilization? Like next to, is it going to be next to a river? Is it going to be next to, like what myths do you have associated with that? So all through the year, you're building your civilization. So to me, I mean, it's 5 stars. But it's not 5 stars because of the book list problem. The book list problem, nothing's more frustrating to someone who loves books when you can't get them. Like, even some new you can't get. So that is frustrating. That I think they have to deal with. But I mean, I still think it's awesome. Awesome. Okay. Next up, why don't we talk moving beyond the page? So we will talk moving beyond the page. So here is an example of moving beyond the page. Yes, my room is messy. Yes. Just ignore it. I'm sorry. I'm too lazy to move. Okay, so we have the land here. So this is ages 7 to 9. So the way they do their curriculum is they do it 4 to 6, 5 to 7, 7 to 9. Okay, so this is both the teacher's manual and the student workbook. Okay, so look at here. So social studies and science, language arts. Okay, so these can all be combined together, but essentially you have a lot of these books. So this is one of these books. This is the land. All right, so let's take a look at the land. So it has books that you get along with it. It's a relatively pricey curriculum, but you can cut down the price by getting the online version. So it's got, so some of the, it's called Moving Beyond the Page, but it has the coolest worksheets I've ever seen. So conserving electric energy. It's just, I mean, just a lot of points of discussion. We go through it very quickly. These, I have I tab them where I want to do it with the kids. Gallons used. Now this curriculum though, I know it says language arts, it's got science, social science, stuff like that, but it's not a reading curriculum. It's not going to teach you how to read. It's not going to do a ton of grammar. So it is comprehensive with science and stuff, but it's not, yeah, there's some topics that it's not full on. It does history, so it covers everything. But math and language arts, I think you do need an additional curriculum outside of this. At least during the younger years. When you get older, not so much once you've learned how to write and once you've learned the grammatical errors. So this is temperature. So this is in October. So you're shading it just to learn how temperature works. So this is my own island. Look, my son created an island. So the name, where it's found in, the bodies of water on the island, the bodies of water surrounding the island, places near my island. So we picked out on a map and we decided, okay, this is where our island's going to be. And so east was Mexico, west was Hawaii, stuff like that. And then landforms, natural resource, food growing, important place found, is it dinosaur laps? It was C. Nublar. Yeah, summer is super hot, in case you're wondering. So I do the handwriting for my son. So this is also touted as a gifted curriculum, which I don't know why. It's good for everyone. Okay, so next up, let's talk. Next curriculum I wanted to talk about was Beautiful Feet. Let's talk Beautiful Feet. One of the best curriculums I have ever seen for nature biology. I mean, take a look. I'll show you like some clips here, but it's called I believe it's called Nature's Seasons of Field. I do 2 lessons today and they're pretty sweet. Okay, so first thing I want you to know about this curriculum as we go through it is these are the topics that it covers. So it basically puts them into different sections, right? So we got autumn, you also got winter, you got spring, but they cover, like, look at Poppy's babies down at the bottom. That's the first lesson we're gonna cover, or the first section. So it goes into babies, habitat, pond, and special lessons. Special lessons are my favorite. Those are recipes, those are handicrafts. They're pretty cool. I'm gonna show you under Poppy's babies what they got going on. So you can take a look and see, hey, what's a lesson like in here? And now you will know. Okay, so remember we got 72 lessons that this comes with. So I'm just gonna go into one. So basically this is based on the book, Jill Barklam. She does those, I don't know if you've read them, but I've recommended them on my book list before. The Brembley's Hedge ones, they're really cute. They're really cute. She's got like seasonal ones, they're very cute. Now what comes in with the curriculum, I will tell you on the screen. Okay, so look at the pictures though. So this is it's so pretty. So this is babies. So we're talking about, you know, babies, animal babies, nature babies, new babies, look-alike babies, naming the babies. What I love is that the science element of this is how in science do we name stuff. So I also think that's pretty cool. So then we're gonna go into field work here. So field work is a search for life cycles. So you have an outside lesson and I've noticed an inside lesson too. So if you're not a nature person, you can still do it. So for example, for this one, we're talking about butterflies. So let's get a blanket and wrap yourself up as if you're a butterfly and you're settling down for winter. And then, or go outside and let's look and see what we can find for critters and see what stage of their life cycle they're in. Critters, I don't know, insects. And then also, of course, you can get, they recommend too, if you want to get a butterfly, I don't even know what it's called, where they go through the chrysalis, they go through all that, butterfly garden, I think it's called. And then here, it's gonna show you about life cycles. So see, it's got really beautiful pages. So once you look at these, the frog, the butterfly, the honeybee, the ladybug, the cosmos, and the bird, you can go out, okay, what stage, when you see something in nature, what stage is that? And you can talk about it, you can record it in your notebook that you have. So they're very easy lessons where you learn some information as well. So then habitat would be the next one, but let's go down to, I want to show you the handicrafts one. It's my favorite on this one. I just love the handicrafts. So the handicrafts, so then we go through the pond. It talks about the pond. It's got some indoor, outdoor stuff. Look at this. So this is twig weaving. Hibernate. So you're gonna learn some words too. They call them wonder words. And so the wonder words for here are hibernation and torpor, a word I did not know, which is a time of complete inactivity. Torpor. I assume that means when you're sleeping, you torpor? You're torporing? I don't know. Torpor. You are in torpor. Okay, and here, I'll give you the last example of a handicraft for the birds. Oh my gosh, how cool is this? Forage in your yard for natural animal-friendly ingredients with no dyes or artificial sugar. I just think, and then they also study a picture too. So there's a picture that you study as well. There is Blossom and Root. Blossom and Root, I have a couple years of their curriculum, I believe, and they have a really great nature program because it's very simple. What I love about Blossom and Root, the best thing is that you don't need additional books for it. If you have additional books, they recommend some, great. If you do not have them, no problem. No problem at all. Here's your curriculum. Doesn't cost much, and it's all-encompassing. All-encompassing, gentle curriculum. It's definitely Charlotte Mason-esque, very gentle. Like, let's go see if we find any tracks today outside. So it's got the nature one. And then it also has, for the young kids, it also has this astronaut one where you're explaining Earth to your pen pal who's from Mars. So very creative. Yeah. So if you want a gentle curriculum for younger kids, I highly recommend that. But now let's get into, I'm going to show you some clips on the screen, but I am telling you, this is the most thorough curriculum I have ever seen. And I have bought every curriculum, seen every curriculum that, honestly, online, offline. This one is the most thorough, and yet it's not overwhelming. Like, that's why it won all these awards, if you ask me, is because it covers so many topics. There's 180 lessons in it, and you cover so many topics, and yet it's not overwhelming. The only complaint I possibly have, and that's, again, because I've gone through it all, and it's such a minor complaint. Like, you don't need outside books for it. I mean, it's all in there. All of your subjects are in there. Say you get it, and for like, right now it's on sale. So for $30, you get all of grade 2. Everything you need for grade 2. Very simple lessons, teacher's manual, no prep. And I'm huge into no prep curriculums. You don't need any books because you just open and go, right? You just open, read it, and then discuss the questions, which I think, especially if you have children who have ADHD, that's fabulous to do. If you look at their math lessons, I'm going to show you their math lesson online. I'm going to show you the math lesson and the teacher lesson for it so that you can see how you're looking at the same thing. It's just got the answers written there. So no prep, you just open it up, you go along, you read it together. So it's one of those things you can do at lunch, not necessarily the math per se, but the history, the science. I mean, it can all be done. The social science covers geography, history. I mean, it covers so much. In your 180 lessons, you cover such an intense amount of curriculum. Again, my only complaint is that when you look through the 180 lessons, there aren't pages marked. So it's not going to be like, hey, if you want to skip to lesson 43 or something, turn to or scroll through. You don't even have to print it off. Scroll through to page 36. That's my only complaint, is that I couldn't find that as to whether that's true or not, or a thing that anyone else that would bother anyone else. Probably not, only me. And that's just because I was skipping ahead, only because I wanted to check out very specific lessons. But I'm telling you, you will not believe it covers so much, but it is not overwhelming. Your lessons are not long, which again, I think is why it won the awards that it's won. So take a look at that. And then I guess that sums it up and it's on sale right now. You can get all the way to high school for $200, like all the way to high school, endless updates for $200. It's award winning. Going to get you everything you need to graduate. I mean, yeah. So you can't go wrong with that. And you may not have heard that a curriculum before. I'd never heard of it before. But it must be around for quite a few years because it's got all the way up to high school. So it must have been around and I just didn't notice it. So I was thrilled to find it. And you don't even have to print it off if you don't want to. You can just do it on your iPad or whatever and then print off the pages you need. Because for that first math one, you attach the colored bars that they showed you to popsicle sticks to do it. So it's very minimal materials you need, which I like. I like that you're not going out of your way. I'm not big into going out of my way to plan and prep. And again, that's why it's considered the no prep curriculum. So there you go. I mean, yeah, you have a bunch of curriculums in which to think about and to do. I would almost consider doubling up and getting the all-in-one curriculum plus the Torchlight literature curriculum if that were me. But that's just, again, because it's very... All right, welcome back. I went to upload the video. It didn't, for some reason, I lost a bunch of it. So now I thought I would add to it. There's 3 different sciences that I want to talk about that are secular. Real science for kids that I've talked about a lot on the channel. That's one of the ones I use with my children. It also has the readers. So you can take a look at the readers here. so you can get the readers even if you're using another science program if you want. It teaches college-age concepts to children, and it's very simple to follow, very easy format. They also do a year by year. They also have, if you want to pay extra, you can get the test for it and the cheat sheets for the testing and all that stuff. So it's very cool. So I have a couple years of that. The other thing is Noeo Science. Noeo Science, take a look in, if I can find the video, take a look at this. Okay, so check this out. This is Noeo Science. It comes in a little box, got that on. I chose the physics one, but I'm gonna go order the other two. Super cool. For 200 bucks, they send you the experiment stuff that you're gonna need, which again, just because I'm overseas, I mean, there's no dollar store I can go track down stuff. It's got different kits, physicus, so it's very clearly laid out. And it's got some cool stuff in it, and I'll show you. I'm gonna show you what I really liked about it. One of the things I really liked, for 200 bucks, it comes with all the books, tons of books. Now you can get a lot of these at the library. The only ones you couldn't get at the library, I would say, are these. These are comic books. Are they the best comics I ever read? No, but it's just an interesting concept that they're graphic novels, and they're about light and forces in motion and magnetism. Now this is for grade level 1 to 3, so you can do it anytime around there. So I would almost consider, I think if you got the 3 of these boxes, the chemistry, the physics, and the biology, I think if you got the 3 of them, and then you just did Mr. Q's science, I think I think that's sufficient. I think that is sufficient, because Mr. Q Science will teach you everything you need to know going up to high school, for high school. So I think that would be sufficient. So it's got, of course, some of these books, The Who is Galileo. We've all read The Who is, and you can get them at the library. It's got a lot more. Oh, it even comes with an Usborne one I haven't seen before. How fancy is that? I'm going to add that to my Usborne pile. Yeah, interesting. The Story of Inventions. I was looking for an inventor's kit or a robot kit. So if anyone has one, let me know. And then it comes with the Simple Machines. So Simple Machines, again, the Intro to Mechanical Engineering. So I just think it's a solid kit. Is that it in there? Is that all we got? That is all we got. So let's check out. So this book, How Do You Lift a Line? I'm pretty sure you get that at the library. A lot of these you might be able to get at the library, but that's not the point. The point is that for 200 bucks, it comes with all your books. That does not happen. Ooh, Now and Ben. I've never heard of that one. Ooh, and it doesn't have that much text. That is a winner when you're dealing with little kids, because I find I can teach little kids even more if it doesn't have. Now we have, oh, this is the little kid's first big book of space. A space one we don't have. That's kind of exciting, because we have the little book of why, and it's okay. It's okay. I thought it would be more exciting than it was. I thought my kids would adore it more than they actually did. But very interesting, a nice book on space. I like it. So it's covering a lot of topics. So let's look at, now the instructor's guide is your usual instructor's guide. No, it's not. I'm thinking of, I have the HBL I got from Sunlight, and that came too, and I'm gonna show you that. Okay, so I'm not gonna show you that like in this video. So daily lessons, plans, and readings for experiments, okay? So it's got the intro, of course, so more about course. What I like is, look, overview, it's got the experiments that you're gonna do. So there's not a ton of text for me to read. Day 1, what is speed? What is acceleration? Okay, so it's just got some concepts that you're gonna learn. So I like it. I could not like it more right now. I think it's great. I think it's definitely worth your money. I think it's worth your time. This is the experiment guide. Now you can actually just get, I believe, just these 3 books for 75 bucks. I think, or it was really reasonable. It seemed really reasonable. There was something that was really reasonable on the site, and I was like, wow. I didn't totally understand their site, but that's with a lot of sites I don't understand. So Simple Machines. So it actually has information for working with those simple machines. So I definitely think that is cool. So this is the experiment book, right? So question, what do you see when you look into a mirror? All right, and then it's got this, and actually that would correspond with that light book, because I was reading that light graphic novel, and he's talking about a mirror. All right, and then what we learned. Okay, so It's got, and the experiments don't seem to have things that are two bendy straws, a rubber ball, a ping pong ball, balloon, toy car. So I guess the ping pong ball would be the most difficult to track down. But push pins, sandpaper, chopsticks, things you can, probably you could track down. Not as easy experiments as Mr. Q's, like supply-wise, as Mr. Q's, or as, which is for like middle school, older kids, or for the real science for kids, but still. So this is just the manual, and I guess I'm not gonna order another manual because I don't think, like this is just something we can just use with the plain notebooks that I always talk about. You can just get a plain notebook or a lab book, and that can be your lab book for the year, and then you can just write your questions out, because that's all it is writing your answers or drawing your answers depending on the age. Science, it's a pretty easy science to do just because it's a read aloud, is elemental science. Elemental science is the Sassafras series. So it follows these twins who failed summer school and then came back, and so they have to go live with their uncle, and they have to complete various science challenges. So it deals with a bunch of different areas of science, the first one being zoology. So that's the one I have started. I started a couple years ago, haven't finished it, but I did start it. It does have, so it's good. It's very interesting. It has worksheets and stuff you can get along with it, but you don't need it. I mean, in itself, it seems to me it's a pretty comprehensive curriculum. And the last two other things I want to talk about is history. Curiosity Chronicles does history where it's two friends talking. And so the two friends are talking, and it doesn't have to do with religion except as it came about through history. So it just goes through the big moments in time. It's snapshots of history. So it's pretty interesting. It's not bad to read at all. So I quite like that. And the last is it's kind of an alternative to Story of the World. It's History Quest, where you wake up and then it's like, well, you notice around you because you went back in time. So what does it look like around you? And there you go. So it's basically you as the reader going through time and experiencing history in these different time periods. So I read a couple chapters of that and I thought it was very good, and I plan to continue it. But now let's get into, I'm going to show you some clips on the screen, but I am telling you, this is the most thorough curriculum I have ever seen. And I have bought every curriculum, seen every curriculum that, honestly, online, offline. This one is the most thorough, and yet it's not overwhelming. Like, that's why it won all these awards, if you ask me, is because it covers so many topics. There's 180 lessons in it, and you cover so many topics, and yet it's not overwhelming. The only complaint I possibly have, and that's, again, because I've gone through it all, and it's such a minor complaint. Like, you don't need outside books for it. I mean, it's all in there. All of your subjects are in there. Say you get it, and for like, right now it's on sale. So for $30, you get all of grade 2. Everything you need for grade 2. Very simple lessons, teacher's manual, no prep. And I'm huge into no prep curriculums. You don't need any books because you just open and go, right? You just open, read it, and then discuss the questions, which I think, especially if you have children who have ADHD, that's fabulous to do. If you look at their math lessons, I'm going to show you their math lesson online. I'm going to show you the math lesson and the teacher lesson for it so that you can see how you're looking at the same thing. It's just got the answers written there. So no prep, you just open it up, you go along, you read it together. So it's one of those things you can do at lunch, not necessarily the math per se, but the history, the science. I mean, it can all be done. The social science covers geography, history. I mean, it covers so much. In your 180 lessons, you cover such an intense amount of curriculum. Again, my only complaint is that when you look through the 180 lessons, there aren't pages marked. So it's not going to be like, hey, if you want to skip to lesson 43 or something, turn to or scroll through. You don't even have to print it off. Scroll through to page 36. That's my only complaint, is that I couldn't find that as to whether that's true or not, or a thing that anyone else that would bother anyone else. Probably not, only me. And that's just because I was skipping ahead, only because I wanted to check out very specific lessons. But I'm telling you, you will not believe it covers so much, but it is not overwhelming. Your lessons are not long, which again, I think is why it won the awards that it's won. So take a look at that. And then I guess that sums it up and it's on sale right now. You can get all the way to high school for $200, like all the way to high school, endless updates for $200. It's award winning. Going to get you everything you need to graduate. I mean, yeah. So you can't go wrong with that. And you may not have heard that a curriculum before. I'd never heard of it before. but it must be around for quite a few years because it's got all the way up to high school. So it must have been around and I just didn't notice it. So I was thrilled to find it. And you don't even have to print it off if you don't want to. You can just do it on your iPad or whatever, and then print off the pages you need. Because for that first math one, you attach the colored bars that they showed you to popsicle sticks to do it. So it's very minimal materials you need, which I like. I like that you're not going out of your way. I'm not big into going out of my way to plan and prep. And again, that's why it's considered the no prep curriculum. So there you go. I mean, yeah, you have a bunch of curriculums in which to think about and to do. I would almost consider doubling up and getting the all-in-one curriculum plus the Torchlight literature curriculum, if that were me. But that's just, again, because it's very interesting. It has these interesting creative assignments, but it's not a full-in curriculum. Like, you're not getting your science, you're not getting your history, you're not getting anything like that. So you'd need to pair it with something else. And they do have some cool creative things in there. However, they're stupid book lists. Oh, I want all of those books so badly. And they're just, yeah, you can't get some of them. That is frustrating. But okay, thank you for tuning in, and I hope you come back again. Bye-bye.